Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the balance changes, which I really want to see within the next balance change update, and hopefully we will get that pretty soon. So before we jump into the video, make sure you're using the create code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's hop into it. Okay, guys, so as always for these type of videos, going to be moving from free buffs to free nerfs. So the first buff which I want to see desperately by far is a Penny buff. So Penny, as always, whenever I speak about it, she just never receives any type of love in the form of balancing, whether that just be like a buff to one of her star powers, a gadget, anything like that. Nothing has been changed about Penny for such a long time now, and she's in desperate need of some type of buff. She's just so bad right now. There's a couple of ways which you could buff Penny, right? So the main one for me would have to be projectile speed. Projectile speed is just too easy to dodge right now, and even since the introduction of gears, just feel like people are just even more able to dodge Penny's shots without speed gear. Basically everyone uses that, so it's just even harder to hit those shots with Pennies. So yeah, I'm hoping that there's going to be some type of projectile buff in the near future. I think that is such an obvious buff for Penny to have, and I feel like they'll finally adjust to that hopefully soon. So yeah, that's going to be the number one buff for me. Of course, I've spoken about this a few times as well with the Penny turret. The Penny turret is super strong, especially on maps where you want a lot of zoning. So a lot of hot zone maps Penny used to be okay on, you know, like Ring of Fire for example. She's just been an okay option, but as time's gone on, she's just been getting worse and worse. So I would pretty much make Penny's turret 4 shots, where you only need 4 shots to get it, and then just make the Penny turret a little bit worse, whether that just be damage, whether it just be in terms of how long it actually takes to actually shoot out, like the projectile speed on the turret. Something needs to be nerfed a little bit on the turret, just so you can make way for the turret only taking 5 hits to get. I mean, for the most part, whenever I'm playing ladder, I don't actually struggle too much to get my turret, but when it comes down to competitive, it can sometimes take over a minute to get that turret, and Penny's just so bad without it. So you really need that turret to do something when it comes to competitive. So I mean, we're doing an alright job right here. We're going to kill that bee. It looks like this should be an easy walk-in from our Mortis. And yeah, Penny really fun to play, but just not one of those brawlers which I would ever consider in any type of composition when it comes to Power League. And even, you know, brawlers like Ruffs, where Penny can actually counter pretty decently, I don't think I would ever go Penny when it comes to Power League to counter. So yeah, that's going to be the first buff. Let's hop into the next one. Alright guys, so jumping into the next brawler which I believe deserves a buff, it is a Grom. So you guys are probably fed up of Grom in terms of balance changes. You know, he was the most broken brawler by far for such a long time, and I'm already asking for a buff. So you guys are probably like, well, that's just ridiculous. But you know, Grom is just downright so bad, and especially in comparison to the other throwers, it's just incredibly frustrating to use. The only good thing about Grom is his super. His main attack is so lackluster, really bad. So again, don't want to make it too toxic. I feel like they made an overall mechanic change, which isn't going to make Grom broken in the future. But yeah, I would like to see something change for Grom. Maybe just increase his damage a little bit. Maybe just increase the actual drop time on his shot. I don't even know what you call it, but basically make his shots drop a little bit faster. I don't want it to be too broken again, because that Grom meta was just so painful, but he's pretty much one of the worst brawlers inside of the game right now. He's only good in knockout when multiple throwers are banned, like Tick and Sprout for example, because they're some of the best throwers in knockout. You know, sometimes Grom can be used in that way, but still just too easy to dodge these Grom shots, and a lot of time it takes so long to get that super. So yeah, don't want him broken by any means, but he's definitely deserving of some type of buff. So getting some nice shots on that Mortis. Sometimes it just takes so long to destroy, you know, like turrets could take like 3 shots, maybe even increase his reload speed by a little bit. And you're gonna have to excuse my voice. I know I always voice crack, but feeling pretty sick right now, so I could probably tell in the strain on my voice, but something definitely in need of a change right here. So only 50 seconds left to turn it around. I'm just going to throw the gadget out. Somehow managed to hit a lot of my gadget shots. Normally, you know, I normally only hit one of those shots, and then players just tend to dodge the gadget. But yeah, Grom just not in the best of places right now. So this more is definitely given their fair share of BM right here. And even a super, I mean, I say the super is good, right? But a lot of times the enemies can just easily avoid it as well. And doesn't really do the most amount of damage. Hasn't really got a lot of range right now. But again, at least it's nowhere near as broken as it once was. So somehow we're going to probably make this to overtime, but Grom in overtime, it's going to be incredibly down bad. And as soon as the enemies get into your face, except for that moment, because we kind of predicted the max to get close there, it could just be so hard to do anything with Grom. So it looks like we're going into overtime here. We're going to so struggle with Mortis, Edgar, and a Grom. Literally all of these brawlers just suck when it comes down to OT. So Edgar got a super, should be looking to make a goal here. I'm just going to throw the super out, hopefully hit someone. Going to pass it off to the Edgar, trusting that the Edgar can score here into pretty much an open goal against an 8-bit. So that's going to be another brawler I want to buff. Let's hop into the next one. Alright guys, so jumping into the final buff I want to see with the next set of balance changes, it's going to be Edgar. So you guys are probably wondering, like, well, I've always said that I don't want Edgar to really be one of the meta brawlers. You know, I don't want Edgar to get a huge buff, but I definitely want some type of buff with Edgar because he's pretty much unusable when it comes to Power League, when it comes to any sort of competitive gameplay. Edgar is just so damn bad. So one way I would recommend buffing Edgar, probably in terms of either his gadgets or his star powers, right? So you can definitely compare this to the likes of Shelly, for example, where, you know, Shelly was really good at the lower levels, just like how Edgar's really good in Showdown, and they look to buff Shelly in like gadgets, in star powers. So I feel like the same should be done with Edgar. Maybe just buff both star powers just a little bit, maybe buff both gadgets a little bit, or one or the other, just to see where we kind of land off with Edgar, just because again he's just so bad. Even going up against his counters, I feel like his counters, well, the brawlers he counters can still do a decent job against him, and that shouldn't be the case with basically any single brawler. He's just so bad right now, and I'm actually trying to use his other star power just a little bit, because even his Fistic of star power doesn't really give him enough healing or enough value. So yeah, that's going to be the last buff. Let's hop into the nerfs now. Alright guys, so jumping into that first nerf, which I want to see with the next set of balance changes, of course it's going to be Eve. So again, another brawler which comes into the game and just breaks the game. Eve, still one of the strongest brawlers in the game, even after several nerfs. So the main problem for me is going to be the second star power. It's just incredibly frustrating, just constantly spawning the hatchlings. I feel like her super gets charged a little bit too easily. You know, she does too much damage. Just so many broken things about Eve right now. I don't want to score just yet because, you know, it's very quick into the game. But yeah, so many broken things about Eve. Easily could receive nerfs in multiple ways. So let me know how you would balance Eve in the comment section below. Of course, I feel like they don't want to kill Eve just yet, but she still provides to be easily a top 6 brawler in this type of meta. You can just see I'm cycling supers over and over again. You know, my gadget, my star power, my super, just spawning hatchlings basically out of everywhere. So easily going to be one of the brawlers which I think should receive a nerf. Let's hop into the next one. Alright guys, so jumping into the next brawler which I think should deserve a bit of a nerf, it is going to be Squeak. So Squeak has gone from one of the worst brawlers to one of the best brawlers. You know, of course, I still want Squeak to be somewhat meta because he hasn't been meta for such a long... Well, he's not been ever meta since he came into the game. But yeah, Squeak with his gadget is just too strong. A brawler shouldn't really depend on his gadget for viability in a meta ever. And yeah, Squeak completely near enough dependent on this new gadget. So for sure, I think decreasing the amount of time it's actually on the field by at least half. So I feel like it should be at least like 5 seconds, because you can think of Crow's Slow, for example. You know, that's a broken gadget, being able to put that out for like 5 seconds. And you've got this Squeak gadget, which is out for 10 seconds. It actually covers an area, and you can also scout with this gadget, which is just absolutely insane. You get so much value out of this gadget. Definitely in need of some type of nerf. So we're going to easily lose right there, but Squeak gadget definitely deserving of a nerf. Let's hop into the next game. Alright guys, so jumping into the final nerf, which I want to see with the next set of balance changes, it's going to be Ruffs. So Ruffs, for some reason, people just always seem to underrate, but when it comes to competitive, Ruffs is really insane, and I just don't think a brawler that's actually this diverse should be this strong in the meta. You know, it's pretty much good into everything. Ruffs is just so frustrating to play off against whenever he's meta, just because of his upgrades and the way you kind of play with Ruffs. So yeah, I believe Ruffs is definitely deserving a little bit of a nerf, whether that just be a tiny bit of damage or something else to kind of counteract Ruffs, maybe make him a little bit weaker. You know, something has to change about Ruffs for sure, because he's just dominating right now in Brawl Stars. So So like Tara's going to be able to get that super out. And again, these sandbags, I feel like the sandbags could do with a little bit of a nerf. I've been crying out for a sandbags nerf for such a long time. You've seen a recent nerf to Spike's gadget, like by half. Maybe we might see a sandbags nerf for Ruffs, just because his other gadget is pretty much useless. So maybe we might see some usage of that if the sandbags get nerfed. So looks like we're probably on our way to another loss right here. We've got a Tara super. It is, again, looking like an easy, comfortable loss for us, but we'll have to include it just because I don't always have to win in these type of videos. So let me know down in the comment section below who you think are deserving of a nerf and a buff. I feel like these are definitely the 6 brawlers on my priority anyway. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.